Morning everyone. The last 2 weeks of work on the Rectory have been almost entirely sat at a computer. The surveyors came and they did their measuring, and they were then able to send me a completely accurate floor plan of the house. And using that, I was able to do a couple of things. I was able to send that plan to an architect who have now drawn up the sort of technical version of the plans ready for approval by building control. But I was also able to use those plans to create some 3D drawings of the house, which I think are absolutely fantastic. And I'll show you those a bit later in the video. They give a really good idea of where things are going to fit and what things might look like. But for now, I'm finally back in the Rectory and I've got a couple of jobs to do here, starting with attacking the guest suite. So let me show you what it is I want to look at. The first part of this, if we go into the guest bedroom, you'll see this in much more detail in the plans I show later, but in this corner of the guest bedroom, there used to be a door, and I don't know how clearly you can see it on the camera. Hopefully you can see it. There's an outline of sort of cracked plaster here, where there used to be a doorway. And if we walk around to the other side, to what will be our guest bathroom, you can see much more clearly on this side the crack that goes up and around what used to be a doorway here. So my plan, or one of my plans, is to strip some of this plaster off and find what's left of the doorway here, and hopefully we can get it opened up. The other thing I'd like to do, and it's in the same room, is in this corner there is a diagonal wall and just cuts off the corner of this room, but we have no idea why it's here. We don't know why that needs to be cut off. We don't know if that's a solid wall. We don't know what's behind it. So I'm going to have a look from above, take some floorboards up, see if I can see down through that void and perhaps find out what's up there. One problem I've been having the last couple of weeks, it's not too bad, but I need to keep an eye on it, is condensation. Where the weather's got quite cold here now, some of the surfaces in the house have started to get condensation on them. So I'm going to have to just make sure it doesn't get too bad. Certainly in places, there's a bit of mold starting to form on the walls. I'm not terribly worried about it. It's all going to be, wiped off and redecorated, but it's a bit unpleasant. And we've got a lot more winter still to go. So I need to be a little bit careful about that. So now that I've got a bunch of these floorboards up, I can see quite clearly what's going on here. There is this triangular shape under the floor, and to get some light on the subject, this is a brick chimney going all the way down. So that's obviously been boxed in the room below. I think knocking that brick wall of that chimney out might be a much bigger job than I want to take on right now, and I don't know how much this floor might be supported by parts of that. I think it might still be worth ripping off the plaster around it below and replastering anyway, and that might give even more of an idea of how much space we could gain. But actually taking the chimney itself out, I'm not sure. While I'm up here in the loft anyway, I thought I'd just show you this. This was a really badly damaged plaster and lath wall with this void behind it, and we've always wanted to get this open so that we could perhaps put a cupboard in here. So we've now got a good idea of what's going on here. And that's a huge amount of space. So hopefully we can make some use of that. Well, here it is, and it was even easier than I hoped to get out, that wall. It pretty much just fell down once I took the plaster off. And as we can see, there's breeze blocks on the other side as well. So if we just knock that through, we've got ourselves a doorway. Looking a bit closer here, we see there's a wooden lintel along the top on each side, and then we've got the original stone wall down the side, and stone wall on the other side. So that's absolutely what we hoped it would be. And as soon as we get that second layer of breeze blocks down, we can go through. I think at this point I might just clear away the rubble that's in the way and then just go straight at it with a sledgehammer. Well, that's my workout done for the week. Let's see how it looks. So as we come into the guest bedroom, we've got the window opposite. And as I turn around, we'll see that there are now the 2 doors into this room. And I think having a bed on the wall between those two doors would be fantastic. And then you've got this opening or door, which will go through into the guest ensuite bathroom. The only question that remains is what we do with this existing door into the hallway. And my thinking is that we keep this door and we put locks on both of the doors so that if someone wants to use this as a family bathroom, they can open the door into the hallway. Or if they want to use it as an ensuite bathroom, they can lock that and instead open the door into the bedroom. Unfortunately, I don't have a skip right now to get rid of all this rubbish, so this is probably just going to sit here on the floor until I next hire a skip. The way the skip hire seems to work is that it's supposed to be for a maximum of 2 weeks, so it doesn't make sense for me to hire a skip when I've only got half a skip's worth of rubbish and things are moving quite slowly. It's a bit of an annoyance, but I just leave the rubbish on the floor, and then once I get a skip, I just run around and fill it up. It's a couple of hours of extra work, but it means that I can only have a skip when I actually need one and save a bit of money that way. I'm back in the comfort of my office now, so let's have a look at some of these drawings. This has been going on over the last couple of weeks, so I just want to show you the process, show you the drawings, and then show you some of these cool 3D models. So you can see behind me here, there's a 3D model of the house, and we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do, first of all, I just wanted to show you where we started. So this is the kind of format that I got from this company, MapTech, and they came and they set up a series of laser measurement devices all around the outside and the inside of the house, and they produced these incredibly accurate, in terms of measurements, accurate drawings of the house and all the features. So we can see here the outside of the house from each of the different angles, and they've coloured in the windows and doors. Just give you a second to look at that, but it's not terribly exciting yet. And alongside that, they then produce this internal floor plan. So just to go through that quickly, on the left here, we've got the ground floor, and that shows up at the top here, we've got the outbuildings going around. And in the middle here, we've got the flat, which we won't be doing anything with at the moment. And then coming down, this is their drawing. Oops. This is their drawing of the main part of the house. So they show where the stairs are. They show accurately how thick all the different walls are, and the locations of the doors and windows, and just everything we need to know to start designing. And then exactly the same on the middle floor here. There's not really very much to say about this, but it's very useful because it is very accurate. And the attic room, which doesn't have the external walls shown, but it shows all the internal dimensions. So with that drawing, I was able to send that to the architect and tell them roughly where I wanted things to be. And they have come back with these drawings. So first of all, this is the drawing of the outside of the front of the house. And the primary purpose of these drawings is to show the technical details of what's going to be changed. So on here we can see that the waste pipes coming down the front are all going to be removed. But these drawings get a bit more interesting once we get inside. So here we've got the ground floor, and all the coloured in parts are the changes we're going to be making. So if we zoom in here a bit, just showing sort of room by room, we can see in the kitchen here we've got blue all the way around the window because that window is going to be replaced. We've got the new kitchen going in. The kitchen layout's not really finalised, but they're showing that it's going to have a sink and where the waste pipe for that's got to go, and the hob here and some kind of island in the middle. We've got the living room with the new wood burner going in and new windows. And as I say, they show technical details on here. Like, for example, they've marked permanent vent here through the wall. So that's a requirement for ventilation for the new wood burner. Again, dining room, just new windows, library, new windows. Here we go, we've got the hall, and this is where things get quite interesting. They're showing the stairs as reinstate stairs in historic position. So we've made the decision we're going to rotate those stairs back to their original position. And I think that's going to look a lot nicer. We've got the downstairs toilet here. We're obviously demolishing the partition wall down the middle, which has already been done, and then adding a cupboard here in this corner. Utility room, much what you'd expect. And this diagram, it also shows some of the details of the doors. So on this side of the house, it shows these 3 new fire doors. This part in the middle here might be a bit unexpected, and this is something that we've talked about in some detail and have made a decision in the end that we're going to put a door here, splitting the 2 halves of the house. And the reason for that is that it provides this fire safe exit on the left. So the what was the servants' stairs going all the way from the ground floor up to the attic will be enclosed by fire doors, and that will provide a safe fire exit all the way from the attic down to the bottom. And by putting this door here in the middle, splitting the house in half, it means that we don't have to worry so much about fire safety in the other side of the house. We don't have to replace all the historic doors, for example the living room, dining room doors, with fire doors. We can keep the original doors there by just separating that part of the house from the fire escape. So that, I think, even though it does add this division, that door can be open most of the time, and I think that just creates a much nicer way of doing it. Similarly, they've done the first floor. Now there's a bit of a surprise on the first floor because we've moved the bathroom, or the planned bathroom. This middle room was originally going to be our master bathroom, and I talked at great length about that in the last video, about how we're going to do this middle bathroom. And since then, since having a lot more accurate measurements and going through it on the computer at great length, I have given up on the idea of using this as a bathroom. There are too many low ceilings, too many little nooks that either side of the window that just can't be used because they're too narrow. So we gave up on using this as a bathroom, and this will become our dressing room, or it could be a small bedroom or a study. The architect marked it as study. And again, we're putting the cupboard under the stairs into this corner, which I think everybody agreed was the right way to use that space. And now we've got basically 2 bathrooms, which are mirror images, one at each end of the house. So this is going to be our master bathroom in the bottom right. And we've got a big walk-in shower, we've got a big standalone bath, 2 basins and the toilet in there, and then exactly the same thing on the other side. And perhaps the most interesting part of this diagram is this door here. Reopen historic door, opening and provide new door. And as you saw earlier in the video, we've now opened up that gap, so we have proved that we can put this door in here and make this lovely big ensuite guest suite. And again, in the middle, dividing the house up by adding this door across the hallway. So that's it for the sort of official plans. But what I really wanted to show you is the 3D modelling. So let's close this down and get to the point. And this software, I tried several different bits of home design software, and I didn't get on that well with them. But this thing, which is called Home by Me, it's the first one I used, which was just really easy to get started with and actually let me produce the results I want. Not everything is going to be 100% accurate, but it's just fantastic for giving an idea of the space. So here's a model of the house from the outside. And let's go on in. So if I start just by showing a top down of the ground floor overall, hopefully this all makes sense from what I was saying before, but it's a lot better seeing it coloured in like this. So starting as you go in through the front door, we've got the main hallway as far as this fire door at the end. We've got the library, which I've just set up as a couple of chairs and a bookcase. I don't really know exactly what we're going to do in here. We've got the hallway with the stairs going straight down, as I talked about. And we've got this downstairs toilet with the cupboard separated off for our hot water storage tank in there, sort of water cylinder in that cupboard. The living room and dining room, much as you'd expect. For the purposes of this, we've actually opened up this archway, and we're very much now thinking that that is what we're going to do to get this archway opened up. If we open it up and we decide we don't like it, we can always fill it back in again. But I think opening it up is the right thing to do to make one big living and dining space here. And now if we carry on to the other end of the house, we've got the smaller hallway, the sort of fire escape hallway. We've got the kitchen, which I've started to do some sort of layout of. So it certainly isn't set in stone, but this is how we might have the kitchen. Maybe a few more shelves on the walls I haven't drawn yet. And then next to it, the utility room with our dog wash under the window there. It's a laundry area. Hopefully what you'd expect from a utility room. So that's it for the ground floor layout. There weren't really many decisions to be made about that, but it's just fantastic seeing it in 3D like this and seeing how furniture might fit in. Let's go on up to the first floor. That's the middle floor. Show you the whole thing from the top down. I realise there's a picture of me covering the top left corner of the screen, so I'll try not to talk too much about what's in the top left-hand corner, or maybe a bit confusing, so sorry if I do. Anyway, here we go. Hopefully you can see the general layout. We've got the master bathroom in the bottom right and the master bedroom top right. We've got the spare room in the top left, which I'll just move over to here, and the ensuite guest bathroom attached to it. So let's just go in a bit closer. So master bedroom is, as you'd expect, just a bed in a room. And then you have to go out of the master bedroom and into the master bathroom. And something I was particularly keen on having in here is this walk-in shower area. So no door on the shower, just an open area that you can walk in and out of. A freestanding bath and a pair of basins side by side. This is what the hallway looks like from the top. And then the middle bedroom, obviously this is a bedroom, but for me, I want this as my office. This is somewhere I can spread out all my junk and get some work done, hopefully. And then opposite that is a smaller room, which is either another office or I've laid it out here as a dressing room with some clothes storage and a dressing table. And then the cupboard under the stairs, which we've all talked about in the last video, which is nothing but a small cupboard. But that is a fantastic bit of space for storage. And then finally on this floor we've got the guest suite, and I'm really happy about the way this is turning out. So we've got the room with the guest bed in it, but then it's got this second doorway, the one that I've just opened up, and that will go through to this dedicated guest bathroom, which is basically the same as the master bathroom. Slightly smaller room, slightly less fancy bathtub fitted in there, but otherwise it's very much the same. And you can see here this chimney void, which I was looking at earlier. We probably don't need to change this, but it was interesting to go and see what it was. And then finally the attic floor. Let's just get a top-down view of that first. Here we go. So the attic floor has this big open hallway filling probably a third of the space. And then it's got 2 bedrooms. These rooms are not particularly spacious because they've got this sloped ceiling on each side and at the end. So you lose a lot of space there. But there is room for a decent bedroom in there. And then exactly the same, it's a mirror image on the other side of the house. Sloped roof, enough space for a bedroom. And there's quite a big cupboard space at the end of each of these bedrooms. And finally, the last room of the house will be the attic bathroom. So again, we're challenged by the sloped roof, but I've managed to put a bathtub in here under the sloped roof here. So there should be a fairly spacious bathroom. And you can see here the sort of open plan hallway area I've made by knocking down the wall up here and just leaving the beams in. Oh, and I showed you earlier this void over here, which will be turning into a large cupboard. That will probably be our main sort of storage area for the house there. And I think that's it. It's been fantastic getting this software involved and actually being able to see things come to life. And it's been a fantastic way to see what will fit in the space and what won't fit in the space. So it was a great way of making the decision that, for example, this middle bathroom just wasn't going to work. By the time I tried to fit a bath and a shower in here, it just wasn't the bathroom that I wanted it to be. Whereas this bathroom over here instead, very much the cathedral of a bathroom that I was hoping to create. So in total, essentially it becomes a 5-bedroom house if you include the 3 big bedrooms and then the 2 in the attic. You could call it 6 bedrooms if you wanted to include this little tiny room here. You could call it 7 bedrooms if you wanted to include the office downstairs, the library downstairs, but there we go. I think I'm calling it a 5-bedroom house with 2 big bathrooms and 1 smaller bathroom. We made the decision not to go with any small ensuite bathrooms, but the guest suite does have this rather grand ensuite instead. The other useful thing the software can do is it can do more photorealistic renders of the rooms. So if I just open up some of these pictures, let's just go through these. This is the downstairs toilet, probably not the most exciting one. Here's the living room and dining room with the open archway there. And here's the kitchen. So I think that's it for this video. I just really wanted to show you this 3D design I've been doing, and hopefully it brings things to life a little bit more, breaks the tedium of just knocking down walls constantly. And I think we are really done with knocking down the walls now. So with any luck, those plans will be approved by the building inspector, and then we can actually get started building things back up again. Another thing I've done, I won't bother to show you, but I've used those plans to draw out locations where I want electrical sockets, where I want lights, where I want radiators and hot and cold taps and all that stuff, so that I can send those drawings to plumbers and electricians to start getting some quotes to get everything put back in. So that's in progress in the background, waiting for estimates and quotes for that kind of work. So hopefully as soon as the plans are approved, which should be by the first week of January at the latest, we can actually get started building things back up again. So that's all for today. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you're still finding this interesting. And I'll be back, probably back when the next phase begins in January now, but maybe there'll be something in the meantime. But I'll see you then. Thank you.